Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 52 of the Local to Global. Now, today's episode, obviously, we're booking 3 TV show episodes, or TV shows, I guess. Shouldn't really call them episodes when I call these videos episodes, but what I've done is I've got my little notes over here, storylines. We're going to be changing a few of them up. A couple, or I guess one of them, is going to sort of be a repeat. But we're also going to have, as you can tell by the title, going to have a number 1 contenders tournament, 8-man tournament, which is just going to run over these. Actually, it's going to run. Well, it's going to run over the 3 weeks, first 3 weeks, purely this episode, and then obviously next episode we'll have a go home show and the pay-per-view for the number 1 contender to actually try and build something with Mobster. Anyway, I have actually set up the tournament. These are our competitors here. I've kind of gone with, I guess, some sort of main event talent. And then I've kind of gone with some sort of upper mid-card talent. Because, I mean, pretty much everyone is kind of involved in somewhat of a storyline. We're going to have Davis taking on Princeton Price, which is continuing his sort of redemption tour. And then, of course, we've also got Logan Wolfsbane taking on Aldous Blackfriar. So that's a pretty big one. And again, we've got some ready-made things in this sort of storyline going on. As you can see, Maddie Faith and Angry Gilmore, they're essentially on opposite sides of the, I guess, small bracket that we've got going on here. Anyway, one thing I do want to check, and this was a suggestion to me after last episode in the comments section. If you have any suggestions, make sure you leave them down below. But it was to see if you could actually, or we could actually launch another broadcaster and then essentially sell off our broadcaster that we currently have. Now, as you can see, it would cost just over $7 million to get a very big broadcaster, right? Which is obviously higher than what we have. However, to actually upgrade our current broadcaster, it's going to cost us over $8 million. So therefore, what is the point? I may as well shut this one down. I'm not sure if you shut it down, if you actually get money back. I might actually go and test that with a different save that I have, a personal save. But if that's the case, and we actually get some money back from doing that, I mean, if we get maybe $4.5 million, so like nearly half the cost that we originally paid for, I would probably be pretty tempted going for just a brand new broadcaster with very big in Canada. Now, obviously, that's not exactly wholly realistic, but like I said, I in my head, I knew I should have gone very big from the get-go because we obviously had the money as well. So it's just kind of unfortunate that I don't know, almost had it out of doing it. Anyway, we also have a user talent point. This was from last episode as well. And I think this one is going to go on creativity. And purely putting it on creativity for the fact that I want our gimmicks to be as good as possible. Sick and tired of, wrestlers that I really want to push having pretty average gimmicks. And some even having, poor gimmicks as well. Not exactly a massive issue on this series, but it definitely has been in the past. So I don't really want that to sort of happen again. Anyway, let's quickly advance into our first show. We'll sort out the actual storylines. And we shall book our first round matches. I guess, essentially quarterfinal matches. Because we're essentially going to go straight from the first round into some semi-finals on the second show of the episode. And then, like I said, we'll have the final one-on-one in that third show of the episode. So looking forward to it. Like I said, it's kind of a nice little mix. We've got Angry Gilmore, Maddie Faith, and Ozzy Goldstein, who I would consider to be our 3 sort of main event talents in the actual tournament themselves. And then we got guys like Hocking, Mutant finds himself in there as well, which I think is a pretty decent inclusion. Ooh, Des Davids. Des Davids. I mean, he's in time decline. That's pretty obvious. But he does have some popularity. Now, I wouldn't mind bringing him in for like maybe one appearance here and there. I'm not sure if I would sign him to a proper contract. I literally would probably want him to come in with a one appearance deal. So I won't do anything right now. Let's actually see if his contract is actually going to run out, and someone else, I should say, like US Pro doesn't decide to come in. Okay, we got Wrestlers Court here for Cooper Christie. Unfortunate. Thought it might have been a mentor protege, but Cooper's already really good, so probably not. Anyway, small positive impact there for Cooper Christie. We are without Kavanaugh tonight, so that is unfortunate because he was a part of my tournament. Okay, well, I guess he kind of would count as a main eventer as well. And I'm pretty sure we can't actually... Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can't actually change who's involved in it. Maybe we can. Actually, I think we can. Let's just manage. That's how you do it. All right, so we want to remove Kavanaugh. And we're going to replace, well... I'm pretty sure I did that last time I tried to book a tournament as well. Okay, I messed it up. Let's just rebook the whole thing. I'm going to do it on camera, so there we go. Okay, so number 1, we have Angry Gilmore. Don't know who... I literally don't know who he's going to verse, but... I guess done Graham Gorman so many times. Actually, this actually works out pretty well. Let's go Giant Brody. So Angry Gilmore, Giant Brody. That's actually a pretty good match. Now I need to try and remember what the other ones were. So we had Mutant and Maddie Faith. Not Maddie Faith, Matt Hocking. Freaking out here a little bit. I was not expecting to have to do this. So Hocking will take on him. We've then got Goldstein taking on Masked Patriot, I think it was. Where is Patriot? There he is. And then our final match was Maddie Faith taking on... I've literally forgotten who Maddie Faith was taking on. It was John Greed. Yeah, John Greed. Okay. Luckily I've remembered. Somehow. Somehow this brain's worked. Anyway, number 1 contender tournament. I like it. Giant Brody is actually a pretty decent option, but I just wanted... Well, I essentially wanted Kavanaugh in there, but it actually works better without him, to be honest. Anyway, we're going to go to Brampton. We are sticking with the Ontario region, purely for the fact that I want to try and get as much finance as possible, because I'll talk about something else after we finish this first show. But basically, we're going to try and spend some money in the near future. Anyway, let's book the tournament. I guess what do I want the main event to be? I mean, Goldstein? We could have Goldstein taken on Masked Patriot in the main event. I don't think that's a terrible main event, if I'm being honest. 20 minutes on it. Sounds pretty good. Does sound pretty good. I mean, there's a pretty clear winner in that one, without being too disrespectful to Patriot there. Up next, we'll go with Maddie Faith and John Greed. We'll just give this one 12. Doesn't need to be too serious. This one, honestly, this match could probably be the main event. Actually, do I want to go with this one instead? Maybe not. John's got, he's got pretty low stamina there. Alright, so call it. No slow build, because we're not going to go 20. And I guess we'll go decisive on it as well. Because, I mean, in theory, they both are heals. That kind of works. Up next, let's go Angry Gilmore taking on Giant Brody. This one's going to be interesting. We are indeed going to have Giant Brody go over. However, it's not going to be clean. It's going to be tainted, and there's going to be once again outside interference by Maddie Faith trying to rub it in on Angry Gilmore, and that's going to be our finish for that one. And then finally we've got Mutant and Matt Hocking as well. And this one, pretty straightforward as well. Obviously, we're essentially going to try and book Mutant pretty strong this month, purely for the fact that I do actually want him to have a go-home show match against Logan Wolfsbane. I know we've already done the match, but I want to do it again and just see what we can do. There we go. That'll be a decisive victory as well. Put that one there. I guess we can maybe have like an 8-man tag or something like that with everybody left over. And essentially we'll just try and book some of these storylines. So let's have Davis kick things off with... I know we'll have to go in and fix up the storylines, but Davis can actually team up with Logan Wolfsbane. And can also, I guess, throw in maybe the crew there as well. And then let's have the Moneymakers on the opposite team, along with Aldous Blackfriar, who's already there. And, of course, Princeton Price, who is going to be in a storyline with the GOAT himself. So, I like that. 12 minutes. It's okay. Do I go Davis? Do I go Logan? Let's go Davis. Again, continuing his sort of redemption. It kind of works. I think we'll have to script it, though. Because I don't think Public Enemy's at 54. What is Papa Swole at? 64. Okay. That's not terrible now. He's come a long way. He's definitely come a long way. Alright, so let's go with those two. This can be our storytelling match as well. I like that. Chuck it in between. Nice and good there. I like it. And then let's fix up these storylines. So let's basically end that one. It can be ended. This one... That one can stay. The Coalition Tag Team titles, we literally can just remove both of these guys. And then we're just going to add in... I didn't mean to remove him. Anyway, we can remove the crew from that one. Let's add back in, where is he? Brett Kyle. So actually in this one we'll add in the LA Stars. Can be their sort of, I guess, first involvement in the company. I mean, themselves and Young and Wasted, they will put on some seriously good matches. I like, the LA Stars potentially taking on the crew as well. Especially like those three teams are probably going to be our future, because a lot of the other teams are quite old. The Rock City Stars and the Moneymakers, they're up there. Late 30s, most of them. So let's go. I've completely forgotten what I was doing. I think we're going with the crew, aren't we? All right. Hold on. Yeah, the crew. Why is Stan Matter still in there? I've done the same thing where I've removed Jackpot out of the angle. Okay. Public Enemy, and we are good to go. Alright, so that one's sorted out. This one can end. That one's fine. This one... I mean, it can end, but it doesn't really need to. Anyway, we'll take Kavanaugh out of this one as well. Let's add in Princeton Price. There he is. I'm going to try and get rid of his morale issues. Again, I don't really like giving out bonuses, but I mean, I'll do what I have to do, I guess. Up next, let's go with Marco Gonzalez, surprisingly. I've decided to push him back in there into the Canadian title storyline. And then, of course, we can also take out Aldous from the Unified World title storyline as well. So Princeton's in there. The emergence, we'll take Ozzy out. I know it's going to harm his momentum a little bit, but we need to chuck in Aldous in this angle here, and I'm really looking to Aldous to try and boost this storyline up. So I can have a few angles with Aldous and Logan in them. That should get that heat up, pretty high and pretty nice. So I like that. Anyway, next storyline we're going to chuck in is... Which one are we doing? Actually, I think that's everything. The Moneymakers crew, we've got Logan and Aldous. We've got Davis and Princeton. We're continuing with Angry Gilmore, Maddie Faith. And yeah, Gary Walker, Marco Gonzalez. So that's everything. You really actually have to change too much, which is, nice. Anyway, the main event, we'll just go an Aussie Goldstein angle. Just by himself, I think. Unscripted, 8 minutes. Obviously, there's no storyline for him to advance there, but that should be pretty good. And again, that's kind of just him doing what he does best. Let's have a Maddie Faith angle here as well. Let's have him actually talking about Angry Gilmore, who will be off screen. So I'll get a little bit more success in here for the man, Maddie Faith. Super impressive. I mean, even you guys are saying how impressed you are and how much of a star Maddie Faith has actually become. Okay, what else do we need? Let's have an angle with, I guess, Davis. I mean, we could maybe do a 4-person angle. Let's do that. So let's go Davis, Wayne Newton. Let's go Logan Wolfsbane. Let's go Papa Swole and Public Enemy. So many P's in the company. And we definitely will actually script all 4 of them. So just so we don't get any penalties, hopefully we can actually do it. And they'll all get a little bit of success from this one because it's kind of a uniting kickoff angle. Just hoping that we where are we? Coalition tag titles. Papa Swole, he's always just that little bit annoying. And if we do that, it's going to be all over the place. So we essentially have to risk it and go with no script. Part of me kind of wants to even change that now. Now that I think about it, I kind of want to go with just like Davis and Logan. I won't because it's actually going to be pretty helpful to the crew. Up next, we're going to go with a Mutant angle as well. Actually, let's go Aldous and Mutant. And they can actually be talking about Logan. Obviously, he'll be off screen. We'll give them some success, but I'm kind of sure it doesn't really matter. Auto-name that, and that's booked. So that'll actually advance the emergence of Logan Wolfsbane. So there we go. It's interesting. And then I guess to kick off the show, let's just go Angry Gilmore. Actually, let's have Angry Gilmore on selling, and then let's have, yeah, I like this better. Let's go Charlie Corner, Rock and Ryan Turner, and Stan Manor, and they're going to be attacking him to kick us off. Essentially, well, more or less trying to cost him the match. It's going to have to be 4 minutes. Essentially trying to cost him the match prior to the tournament kicking off. I mean, I don't really want to put anyone else on this actual show. I mean, I guess we could maybe have an angle. Who haven't I used? I haven't used Mobster on this one. Also haven't really used Gary Walker. Maybe we go Gary. Let's have Gary to actually kick off the show. Actually, let's have Gary be second angle. So Gary is going to be cutting an angle onto Gabriela Ortega and of course Marco Gonzalez. I guess this will be the way we kick off this storyline here as well for the Canadian title. Just nice and easy. I mean, it's probably going to be a really good angle because it is Gary Walker and he's actually pretty decent. There we go, 122 minutes. That's perfect. We'll go a cheeky, quick little pre-show match. I think I just want to have the... Let's have LA Stars take on somebody as well. Let's have them team up with maybe Zach Powerson, just to sort of get him on the card, I guess. And they can, I guess, they can just take on the Los Hermanos. So 12 minutes on the pre-show. Let's give... One of the LA Stars doesn't have as much popularity, so it's him. LA Star 1. LA Star 2 has about 40. Yeah, it looks like he was pushed like a little bit harder. So we'll give LA Star 1 the victories, at least for the start of their career here. That's pretty good there. And I guess actually we'll go another pre-show match. Let's go a one-on-one match, and let's have a Sono take on Mobster. Just something for Mobstar to do to get on the card. Don't really want him getting angry. Kind of unnecessary, really, when you think about it. Yep, obviously non-title. That'll go second, and we are good to go. All right, let's run the show. Kicking off the #1 contender tournament. All right, so we kick things off on the pre-show with a 55 rated match where we have Zach Powerson and the LA Stars defeating Brothers for Life in 12:06 when LA Star 1 pinned Louise Frost with a double stomp. LA Star 2 getting better at his gimmick. But an okay match. Not terrible. Alright, we then go into an 80 rated pre-show match. Yikes. Where we have Mobstar defeating Uterus Sono in 11:42 by pinfall with a flattener DDT. What can I say? Just a really good match. Really, really good. Alright, we then kick the actual show off with a 77 rated angle. Not as good as his pay-per-view angle, which I believe got a 90 or above, I'm pretty sure. So 77's not great, but it does get the show off to a strong start. And of course, we start the push for Canada storyline between Walker and Gonzalez. I like it. Good way to start the show off. And of course, we head into our second angle, which only gets a 63, but, you know, it's okay. We have Angry Gilmore essentially being attacked by the other 3 members of Faith No More. We have Charlie Corner, Rock and Ryan Turner, and Stan Manor, essentially leaving Angry Gilmore beaten and battered prior to his first round match. As you can see, Angry Gilmore was a real star in the segment. His match does very well, pulling off a 77 rating, where we do have Giant Brody defeating Angry Gilmore in 10:01 by pinfall with a single-handed choke slam, following interference from Maddie Faith, and of course kicking off our tournament. Good to see. You have to say, a big victory over Angry Gilmore, whose popularity is, I know, starting to dwindle, but it was tainted, so I'm hoping that if it was a popularity loss, which I assume it was, it's hopefully only going to be, you know, pretty low, or at least on that low scale. Anyway, it's still a good match, so it shouldn't really affect his pop too much, because I think that match actually is higher than his current pop. Alright, we then go into an 88 rated angle. Very decent from Mutant on Entertainment here as well. And of course we have the Disciples of Darkness, Aldous Blackfriar, and Mutant. And of course they are, you know, they're talking plans. They're talking darkness. They're talking Logan Wolfsbane. And of course, they are talking about the fallen cousin of Logan Wolfsbane, James Diaz, and the fact that they broke his neck. 88's pretty good, and it's gaining that storyline heat, which is actually surprising because I thought this one might not actually gain heat. So positive. Very positive. Alright, we then go into another 77 rated match here for the #1 contender tournament. And we have Mutant defeating Matt Hocking in 12:06 by pinfall with the Tina Turner. Good match. Really interesting that this match is so highly rated, despite Mutant getting a 64, Hocking getting a 68, and then having both Mutant and Hocking off their games. So I have no idea, absolutely no idea how they got a 77. This is what I don't understand about the match ratings here. No idea. Anyway, they're both penalized for consistency. As you can see, there's no storyline penalty, so I don't understand that. I mean, I did actually update the game recently, so maybe storylines have been changed, but I briefly read over what had changed, and I don't think it said anything about storylines, so can't really explain that one, to be honest. Not like the 92 we got in the last episode. That one I could kind of explain, even though it was Zombie Boy, but this one's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I have no idea with all of this over here to get that 77 over there. Anyway. We then go into a 75 rated angle. This one actually did better than I thought it would, honestly, because they're all unscripted. So I literally thought at least 2 of them were probably going to screw up. But as you can see, everybody actually did really well. Get a 75 for the, I guess, quote-unquote face team, if you will. And we have, obviously, Davis being a star, Logan doing good. But yeah, Davis did a masterful job improvising interactions. Logan enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. Papa Swole improvised well. And then Public Enemy also enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. So all in all, that was a pretty big positive to an angle that I kind of wanted to change, if I was being honest. So I'm happy with that. All right, we then go into the 8-man tag, which actually gets an 80 rating, which is a positive considering we had an 80 rated pre-show match. We do have Davis, Wayne Newton, Logan Wolfsbane, and the crew defeating Aldous Blackfriar, Princeton Price, and the current tag team champions, the Moneymakers, in 11:37 when Davis pinned or submitted Princeton Price, of course, the man he will verse at the pay-per-view, with an STF. So there we go. Public Enemy also being the weak link in the match. But good to see Logan with an 87 there. I really want to see him shine this month, and I think he will against Aldous. I don't think there's any better opponent, apart from maybe Mobstar, for him to verse at this point. And the winner of this sort of storyline will more than likely become our next #1 contender going into the next month, being March. So, big ramifications. Obviously, Aldous has already had 2 opportunities. Maybe 3rd time's a charm. And Logan, of course, looking to actually capture his first ever world title in the Coalition. What do you know? Maddie Faith and another solid angle. We get a 94 this time for Maddie Faith. And of course, he's cutting another promo onto Angry Gilmore, essentially talking about how Faith No More has cost him another opportunity for his, chance at a potential world title. And this time costing him a match in the first round of the #1 contender tournament. As you can see, he enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, and I'm sure that's only going to do more favors for his popularity. Alright, we then go into a 70 rated match where we have Maddie Faith defeating John Greed in 12:01 by pinfall with a leap of faith. It's pretty good. It's John Greed, so it's not going to be as good as it potentially could have been, but again, Maddie Faith goes through into that semi-final, picking up a 78 in-ring, which is a little bit lower than what he got against Gilmore, from what I remember. Greed was penalized for stamina in a 12-minute match. Gonna have to go down to the old 10-minute matches from now on. Anyway, that's fine. It's fine. Anyway, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, we then go into an 87 rated angle. Really happy that this one's up there because I think Ozzy really struggled with his angle prior to the Logan Wolfsbane match on last episode. So I'm happy that he worked the crowd well with this one and, getting a nice blue angle there for himself. Need to try and rebuild Goldstein. And hopefully this will be a decent tournament for him as well. The main event, it doesn't do too hot, but at the same time, it's only one off our, highest rated match on the show. And again, it's not a great opponent for him either. So we get a 79 for this main event. And we do indeed have Ozzy Goldstein defeating Masked Patriot in 1949 by pinfall with a golden shower. And of course, Goldstein advances. So the next week's main event is going to be Goldstein taking on Matty Faith. Matty Faith. What a match. That's a pay-per-view quality match right there. Anyway, Goldstein with an 80. Both having hot moves. But unfortunately, just not enough to get us above an 80. All right, overall show rating getting us an 83 there. So still good enough, obviously, to gain us popularity. But not to gain us popularity in Ontario. Because our literal popularity in Ontario, if you remember from last episode, and I'll show you in a second, we're 80 popularity. So it's going to take at least an 88 rated show, I think, to actually gain us popularity from now on. So it's going to be tough in that region. Anyway, again, 6 American regions, restricted growth. Unfortunate, but, you know, we're essentially going to have to wait until we can afford to get a very big broadcaster or a very big coverage on our own personal broadcaster. It's going to take a while because it is, as you can see, it's about, well, it will essentially be 8 million. So what's going to happen is, I guess, I'm going to go for the new broadcaster. We're going to go a bit gamey, but it is essentially just correcting a mistake, and we're actually going to lose money by doing it as well, depending on how much the sort of shutdown costs. So in that regard, we're still losing money, but we're doing something pretty good for the company overall. Anyway, we've got another negotiation that is not being considered, which is perfect for Townsend. If you didn't watch the last episode, he is the CWA color commentator with 82 color, and we are trying to bring him in. Going to be expensive, $70,000, 20% bonus. It's only going to be for 3 years though, and what I want to try and do is for us to have him for 3 years, but to be on the lookout over the next 3 years to potentially sign his replacement and get a better color commentator in compared to him. That's the aim. We've also got Dominic D'Souza's contract up here as well. He's only 30. He is pretty good. I mean, the only question is, I don't really need him as such. I used to really like his character. He used to be the Midnight Prowler. And I feel like if he was still the Midnight Prowler, it would actually fit in very well with Forces of Darkness, because he had kind of that heel, dark, sort of ominous figure as his picture, as his render. These days, doesn't really seem to have that sort of gimmick or anything sort of even remotely like that, to be honest. As you can see, bit of a suave, smarmy heel. I mean, do we put a contract offer in? I mean, I probably should, but at this point, our roster it's pretty bloated. Let's be real. It's really getting up there. Anyway, got a 0.96 TV rating, 726,000 viewers, 1.061 million overall. But the next thing I want to do before we do anything else is to have a look at our TV deal, because as you can see, Ondem is about to run out. We've got 25 days left, which does mean we can renegotiate. But let's have a look at the broadcasters for a second. Let's have a look. Actually, first of all, let's have a look at our popularity, because I did talk about that. So as you can see, 80 in Ontario, 65 Quebec, 63 Manitoba, almost up to 50 there for Saskatchewan, 43 Alberta, 35 Maritimes. We've finally got up to 30 in British Columbia there as well. As you can see, we're still quite a ways away, because we need Alberta to get up to 77 popularity, which is going to take at least another year, if not more than that, maybe a year and a half. So we're a ways away, but we are slowly climbing our way up to the, popularity required from going up to large size. Anyway, let's have a look at broadcasters real quick, because I just want to double check. Not large size, big size. Sorry, big is up from medium. And I think these are all Mexico, aren't they? Because I was kind of having a brief look through Mexico, and I think we actually can go with one in Mexico. We're not actually that far off getting onto Celestion, Mexico. I'll show you, we only need 22 popularity in 3 regions. And if we go to Mexico, we're already at 20. So we need 20, well, we need 22, 22, and then we need a third 22 in one of these other Mexican regions. So based on that, I kind of want to at least stay with Ondem. I think that's probably the smartest bet, but I just want to have a little look around. Just a little look. I mean, most of these deals, you need to be based in Mexico, which is unfortunate. What do we got here? So 30 pop in 6 regions. Really wouldn't be that hard to get that popularity. Especially once we go up to, or once we get the 22 pop and go on to pay-per-view with medium coverage as well. Such a low requirement. What about TV Max? So that's 26 popularity in 2 regions, so we're only 6 off that as well. And that is a commercial internet site. Could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we'll probably go with Celestial Mexico for our pay-per-views. It's kind of the only real choice. 38 pop in 15 regions for medium pay-per-view coverage everywhere. I guess this is kind of the one we want to maybe... I mean, it's not exactly necessary for us to get on this one. So maybe we don't even go for it. I'm not even too sure how far off we would actually be from the 15 regions. All right, so I mean, I think we could actually go with these guys as well. Los Deporte Hoy. So we can actually get onto them right now because of our popularity in the US, but we don't want to. We don't want to. La Red de la Lucha, 28 in 3 regions. I'm guessing we don't have 28 in Puerto Rico yet, so that one's kind of out as well. But that would be medium coverage, but again, we would lose US coverage as a result. So unless we had our own broadcaster, that one wouldn't really be an option, to be honest. And these ones aren't options either. So, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of options when it comes to Mexico, but I think, you know, we're only, 6 points away from one other region, getting up to the 22 that we need, so... Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. I guess, based on that, we may as well just stay with Ondem. And we'll extend our deal, so... Yeah, I don't think we can... I don't really want to go up to 65% of revenue, because we would have to then pay them. It's interesting, though. As you can see, they're not asking for any exclusive rights to the footage either, which would mean we could essentially show it on other like networks or broadcasters as well. I find very interesting, actually. Do I want it to be for 1 year? I mean, how long is it going to take us? Actually, you know what? We'll go 6 months. We'll go 6 months because I want to try and get enough popularity in Oceania. I was about to call it Australia again, but in Oceania, because we're not far off an Oceania deal as well, is worth mentioning. So with this, we could essentially go onto Australia options, but I think for the pay-per-views we could also go onto somebody. I feel like somebody else. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 32 pop for Australia Channel 3, but I guess we just go for the 30 pop with small coverage. I think that's pretty much it. Maybe the Bloke Channel. What is a Bloke Channel? Yeah, Bloke Channel's 30 pop in 5 regions as well. So it doesn't work. So we'll essentially just wait for Australia options, and then once we get the 30 pop in 5 regions, we'll be set to go there as well. It'll be very cool having another pay-per-view provider. Of course, it's just more revenue. Anyway, we are pretty far away. We're I guess not even halfway, because these are the 5 regions that we need. I guess New Zealand would count as well. So I guess we are halfway, or almost halfway. with 15, 15, 15, 14, 14. So that's not too bad either. British Isles looking pretty good at 15s. Japan's low. Obviously, we only have tiny coverage there. So only got 11s across. Pretty good in Europe, though. I find that very interesting. Europe must have a really good industry. Yeah, they had 83. So it was really high and then just started to fall. So that's very interesting. Speaking of that, Mexico is on fire right now as well, which is also very good for us. Let me actually quickly check Europe real quick, because if we can get like a cheeky little deal in Europe, that would be pretty decent. So what do we got? Continental Sports, only 28 popularity in 5 regions, so we're only 8 points away. 25 pop, so that's even lower, isn't it? Yeah, so 25 pop for Euro Sports 4, which would probably be our first choice. That would probably be our first pay-per-view provider choice, I guess. Because we don't have 50 popularity in Europe. That one's not going to happen. What about this, though? That's 48, so it's way too high. Premier Pay Europe, 47. V Corp is an internet-based pay-per-view provider with some very interesting that it's based in Britain and Europe. So we couldn't actually go onto it. It would have to be a British or a European, similar to the Wrestle World deal. So I guess that one's out, but that one looked pretty good. The V Corp, even though it was only 30. So it is a pay-per-view provider, but I guess this would be our logical choice. 35 pop for pay-per-view, and I guess as soon as we can, once we get the 25, we'll try and chuck our pay-per-views onto Euro Cable Sports 4 to get that little extra bit of coverage in Europe, because at the moment we're not getting any coverage in Europe for our pay-per-views. So kind of what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's advance. I've done a lot of talking now, I've realized. All right, but I think we're definitely making some decent progress when it comes to some other game regions. Like I said, Mexico, pretty close. Australia, well, sorry, I always say it. Just used to saying it, but Oceania. Oh, okay, nice. Blue Dragon has withdrawn his request. Okay, Tom Townsend coming in as well. Perfect. Oh, wait. Never mind. I thought that was decisions, but it wasn't. Oh, okay, there we go. CWA going after Des Davids. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Now there's competition. And you know what? We're going to put an offer in. We're going to rack them up on the expenses. Go 4 years. 20%. I mean, this is perfect. It's literally perfect that CWA going after him. Okay. How much is their offer? 70. All right, there we go. So they're probably going to chuck in a bit of a better offer. Didn't realize that John Greed's contract was actually running out as well. We'll renegotiate with him. He wants a written deal apparently. I only want a handshake, so let's go 1,200 for 1 year. And then let's go events and A shows. He'll probably want travel, although he might. Where is he living? If he's living in Ontario, that'd be pretty good. But that looks pretty good. Actually, let's go to pass the torch. Okay, so he wants a bit more. We'll go 1,300. I think that's pretty fair. Apparently not. Okay. 1350, still doesn't want it. All right, 1380. Come on, that's got to be close to what he wants. Okay. This is extortion right here from John Greed. Literal extortion. What is he doing? I mean, I guess he doesn't want us to pass the torch with him. You know what? We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to go... Well, I don't think we can go back down to 1400 now. I don't understand that. Why... I guess he literally just wants a written contract. That could be, I guess, the problem we're running into right now. Like, I don't really want to lose him. But at this point, I mean, he's kind of just... He's literally being quite extortionate. I mean, we're up to $2,000 now. It's getting to the point where I'm like, do I even really want to pay this? Probably not. The thing is, he wants $20,000 per month. I'm not giving him $20,000 per month. Dropping this down to $2,000, I'll give him a 10% bonus. Still doesn't want it. I mean, what do I do at this point? Oh. Oh. Now I just feel like an idiot. Anyway, let's go to pass the torch again. I was doing per month instead of per show. Some of you are probably screaming at the screen. I completely understand. I feel like an idiot. Anyway, hopefully this will work now. Boy, oh boy. All right, 1330. So I apologize, John. You were not being a dick. You were essentially, well, it looked like I was trying to screw you out of a lot of money. And that was a bit silly by me. So yeah, for that I apologize. And I apologize to you guys as well for having to witness that. Anyway. I feel like this is going to be a good episode anyway. I feel like this tournament has a bit of storytelling. Obviously, we're going to find out who the new #1 contender is going to be. We'll do a little bit of other work as well, because we've only got the 2 tournament matches for this show. And then, of course, next show, to finish off our episode, we will have just the final. I have the final as the main event as well, I think. Not too sure who I actually want. I know one person I want in the final. But the other one's going to be pretty interesting. I haven't actually decided who I want to be that second competitor in the final. Because obviously we've got Mutant and Giant Brody, and then we've got Maddie Faith and Aussie Goldstein. So obviously one side of the bracket, I would say, is a main event side, and the other two are definitely upper mid-carders. Upper mid-card is kind of putting it nicely, I think. Anyway, there we go. Tom Townsend coming in. We're going to have to wait another 20 days for his contract to run out. And we've got lots of other stuff happening. Ooh, TCW have come in as well. That is not good. That is not good for CWA. You know what? I'm not going to go back in. I don't feel like I need to. We've also got Doc Hammond's contract running out now as well. Now Doc is a manager for us. He's also a road agent, so we probably just want to keep him around. So let's just try and get him on another handshake deal per month. Or per show, I should say, not per month. Literally the exact opposite to what I said. No events and A shows. Let's try and get him a bit cheaper. There we go, 1300. That's fine. I like Doc, like I said. We've got Hoss Handley as well. He's a pretty decent sort of up-and-comer. He doesn't look that great on this save. Definitely a jobber for SWF at the moment, coming out of He's extended his deal anyway. We do have El Leon, who is 41 years old. I get that. He's also the US Pro World Champion. And as you can see, he's not even active in Canada. Do I want to make him active? I probably don't want to make him active, because I don't think we can sign him. I don't really want CWA to have, or potentially be able to sign him either. So I think we'll just take a miss on that one. I don't think we can sign anyone with that sort of level of popularity, being medium size. I think we probably need to go up to big size in order to even negotiate with some of those people. Even then, I don't think it's very likely for us to be signing those, you know, high quality talent that is out there at those other big companies or in US Pros size. I think they're enormous. I think they are enormous. Anyway, let's get into this next show. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I feel like this main event is going to be pretty good. Anyway, here is John Greed, new contract. You got a friendship ending. You got a lot of offers for El Leon. You got Burning Hammer, SWF, WLW, BCG, CZCW. How can they offer him a contract? I guess maybe we could have, because they're only medium size as well. Although they do have a lot higher popularity. They're actually almost big size. They only need 5 regions. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, they're only 6 points away in Midwest and Southeast. That's pretty decent, the CZCW. Fair play. I mean, Storm Spillane would definitely be a guy I would like to sign at some stage. He was not on my shortlist. Wow. Feel like a bit of an idiot. Anyway. Yeah, we got Ole, we got Pride Glory, and we have EILL, who I believe he used to actually work for prior to going to US Pro. He's also the US Pro World Champion, so if they lose him, it's going to be not very great for them. Anyway, we are without Mighty Kavanaugh once again, but he wasn't really going to be used, especially after we took him out of that tournament. Anyway, main event time. Maddie Faith taking on Aussie Goldstein. I really hope that this is going to be good. And Maddie Faith did indeed gain 1 more point of popularity from the match and the angle on the last week's show. But this one, it's going to go a certain way. Aussie Goldstein picking up the victory. However, it's going to be a tainted win. And once again, but this time, it's going to be reversed. Maddie Faith is going to be attacked by Angry Gilmore. So Gilmore getting a little bit of revenge and, of course, continuing their storyline. Of course, Gilmore, not the biggest fan of Goldstein, but definitely helping him out, making him reach the final of this #1 contender tournament. Pretty good. You have to like it. And not really too sure what else I want to do. I guess I could have Disciples of Darkness being a match. Let's go to Disciples of Darkness 5. So essentially the jobber team of Zombie Boy and Original Sinner. We haven't really used Sinner too much recently. And they're going to take on the crew. A bit of a warm-up match, if you will. We'll make it storytelling as well. But let's give Papa Swole the victory here. Just to, I guess, we can have an angle for the Moneymakers prior to this, just to continue that storyline. We will indeed call it in the ring, even though 2 people can't actually call it in the ring. Anyway, Sinner and I think that was Public Enemy as well. Okay, and then let's book the other semi-final as well. So it's Giant Brody taking on Mutant. And I think for this one, purely, let's have a look at Brody's popularity and how much he went up. So he's 62 in Ontario. He's up 2 points. So he probably took some popularity away from Gilmore. So in saying that, I think we'll actually have Brody win. I was going to go with Mutant. However, I don't know. I just don't feel right having Brody, who's got, 10 points more popularity. I mean, they're both monsters to begin with. It doesn't make sense for Mutant to go over in this scenario. And again, I can't really go with more sort of outside interference. Because it just wouldn't. Actually, you know what? We can do something. Let's go distraction. Distraction onto Mutant by Logan. So Logan doesn't actually do anything, but he's, I guess, just trying to get in the head of Mutant and to get in the head of Aldous Blackfire as well. That actually works pretty well. Seems much better, and it's still a decisive loss for Mutant, but I think it's a little less harsh for sure. Okay, what else have we got? Let's go a match for Princeton Price. He can essentially just verse whoever. Doesn't really matter too much. Let's go Zach Powerson. Yeah, we'll go Zach. I mean, Zach can take a loss. It's nothing too serious. And he's, versing Princeton, he might get a little bit of psychology rub off as well. You never know. So we'll take that. And that'll be a decent little victory there for Princeton. I probably will have an angle there at some point for Davis as well. I might go a tag match, actually, with the Golden Goats. Let's have them take on the LA Stars. That's actually a decent match. I might actually give the victory to Zeus, because we haven't really done much with Zeusy Boy recently, so... Good match, good win. Can these boys call? So, LA Star 1 can. LA Star 2, not so much. So I think we will script this one, but he's really not too far. He's about 3 points away from actually being able to call that. So, not terrible, not terrible. Is there anything else I want to do? Let's have a warm-up match here for Gonzalez as well. Let's have him take on Chip Martin. Probably going to be a pretty bad match. Let's just give it 10 minutes. With Gonzalez getting the win. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we actually do have to script this one. Because, never mind. We definitely do. I was hoping that Chip had enough popularity there to call. But he's not even exactly close to being able to call there. So, it is what it is. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Let's do some angles. So, I want to have... Let's have a Davis angle. He can cut his angle onto Princeton. I guess Princeton can be out there because it's going to be a little bit of a crossover in between matches, I guess. And that will, again, further the GOAT's redemption storyline. So obviously, Davis's match is essentially before Princeton's match. So Davis is obviously going to the back, and Princeton's obviously coming to the ring. I feel like it kind of works. Anyway. I think what I want to do here is just go for a Forces of Darkness angle. So all them together. Let's have Zombie Boy be out there, and then let's also... we might not be able to have Sinner be out there, but we'll try. We will try. And they're not even in storyline, so it really doesn't matter. There we go. That'll go before Mutant's match. We also need... I think I want to go with a Maddie Faith angle once again. I guess he can cut an angle onto Ozzy. I was going to go Angry Gilmore, but it kind of makes more sense for him to be cutting an angle onto his opponent tonight prior to stepping out in the main event. So that looks good. Anything else? I mean, we could maybe go with the crew. Could maybe go with something for... actually, let's go Gary Walker once again. This time, just talking about Marco. Or I could actually go with a Marco angle, but it's not exactly necessary. And that'll advance the push for Canada. So there we go. That's our show. Looks pretty good, I think, on paper. Not too bad. Go a tag team match here for Graham Gorman, and he can team up with Angry Gilmore. Of course, former foes turned friends, I guess. Not really, but we'll pretend. We'll pretend. And I guess they can take on... I literally have no idea. Let's go the Rock City Stars, I guess. Just 10 minutes is fine, and we'll give the victory to Gilmore just to try and get his momentum back just a little bit. And of course, it's still kind of storyline based with Faith No More, so yeah, it works. It works. And then I want to have Logan team up with... I mean, I don't know. I literally don't even know at this point. Have him team up with Mobstar, I guess. Should probably have an angle on the show for Mobstar. But I guess he's really not doing too much, considering the he doesn't actually have a #1 contender at the moment. And I guess these two can maybe verse the Northern Lights. Have them verse Young and Wasted, actually. I mean, I should essentially put this on the show as well. But I guess we're not. Probably going to be a really, really good match. Anyway, there we go. Let's run the show. Start off with a 72 rated angle where we have Graham Gorman and Angry Gilmore defeating the Rock City Stars in 9:47. Angry Gilmore pinned Rock and Ryan Turner with an anger management. It's a good match. 72. Solid. And then we go into a 79 rated match with negative chemistry. We have Logan Wolfsbane and Mobstar defeating Young and Wasted in 12:02 when Logan Wolfsbane submitted Taylor Norton with a Boston Crab. Yeah, it's a good match, even with the Logan Mobstar, not working well as a team and their timing being all over the place. Still pretty damn good. Pretty good. All right, we then kick off the show with a 76 rated angle once again from Gary Walker. I think that was the exact rating he got on the last TV show. So there we go. But he's cutting it on to Gonzalez prior to Gonzalez coming out for his match. Basically saying that he doesn't like Gonzalez and he's willing to put his title on the line in order to get a match with him. We then have Gonzalez going into action, getting a 52. So it's an okay lower mid-card sort of match. We have Marco Gonzalez defeating Chip Martin in 9:37 by pinfall with a DDT. It's okay. Ortega doing good work at ringside. We then move into a really, really good match. 82 rated tag team match here, where we have the Golden Goats defeating the LA Stars in 11:35 when Zeus pinned LA Star with a Thunderbolt. Of course, excellent chemistry. A 92 in-ring performance from Davis. And as you can see, his performance stood out as being good. Yeah, it did. Okay. It's a solid match, man. That's really solid. These guys are really talented. The LA Stars. Alright, we then go into Davis's subsequent angle, getting an 87 again. Like I said, it's kind of Davis crossing paths with Princeton. And of course, Davis is talking a bit of smack about Princeton, saying that, he lost. Actually, he won. That doesn't really work, that promo. I guess he's saying that he doesn't really respect... That's a good way of going about it. He doesn't respect Princeton Price for his semi-alignment with John Greed and Wall Street Enterprises. And Davis, of course, being a bit more heel these days, a bit more face than heel these days, is kind of looking to Princeton, saying that, you're not doing the right thing, kid, and you're not going to go very far aligning yourself with guys like John Greed. 87's pretty good. Happy with that. Davis enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. We then go into a 66 rated match, which isn't actually that bad, considering. But we do have Princeton Price defeating Zach Powerson in 11:58 by submission. Just a good match there. Good win for Princeton. Zach somehow getting, carried to a 66 rated match. And there was only a 66 maximum in-ring performance from Princeton. We will take that all day long. All right, we then go into an 89 rated angle from Forces of Darkness. Very impressive. Albeit, it's only Aldous and Mutant being rated. But then again, that's also pretty good for Mutant to be involved. And it's also really good for Sinner to be involved in this angle, potentially gaining some popularity despite losing the next match. His next match, Mutant's up next. All right, we go into a 78 rated semi-final match where we have Giant Brody defeating Mutant in 11:56 by pinfall with a single-handed chokeslam. And during the match, we also had Logan Wolfsbane distract Mutant at ringside. So Logan didn't get involved. It's a clean victory for Giant Brody. However, Logan, like I said, he's trying to play the head games. He's trying to mess with Mutant's mind, essentially thinking that he was going to get involved, but not actually getting involved. So therefore, Mutant was very sort of paranoid with Logan just hanging around, shifting around, and obviously Giant Brody definitely capitalizing, putting himself into the final of the #1 contender tournament. A big win for Brody's career. A really good match actually as well. 78. We only had a 71 from Brody and a 63 from Mutant there as well. Good stuff. All right, we then go into a bit of a cooldown match where we get a 46, and we have the Crew defeating Disciples of Darkness 5 in 11:35 when Papa Swole pinned Zombie Boy with the pounce. Unfortunately, Original Sinner sustained a blown eardrum in the match, which is not great because it's Sinner. But it is also it's Sinner, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, not a great match. What are our negatives here? Okay, so poor psychology, holding back, poor gimmick, holding back, poor psychology, and disrupted by injury. Okay, moving on. Yeah, that's fine. Blown eardrum. Yep, okay. Whoa! We then go into a 100. The Angry Gilmore effect has definitely worked here with Maddie Faith. A 100 rated angle. I think that's Faith's. I think that's his first 100. And I'm hoping for many, many more over a long, long career here in the Coalition. Yeah, Faith cutting a promo onto Ozzy Goldstein, his opponent tonight, saying that he's going to beat Goldstein and go into #1 contender tournament, essentially becoming the #1 contender and then taking the title away from Mobster. I want to say that's very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Main event. Okay, that's a good match. That is a good match. Get an 88 rated main event here on the second TV show of the month. And we have Ozzy Goldstein pulling off an upset, defeating Maddie Faith in 20 minutes 18 seconds by pinfall with a golden shower, following interference from Angry Gilmore. Faith cost Gilmore his match last week, and now Gilmore has cost Faith the chance of potentially becoming the #1 contender in a really good main event. Like I said, 88. Probably wasn't expecting that, to be honest. 84, I was kind of expecting. So to get, 4 more than that, that's pretty decent. We've got an 83 there for Maddie Faith, an 80 for Goldstein. And Maddie Faith was also off his game. So that seems a little crazy. But you know what? And we also had morale there. Low morale for Goldstein. But yeah, no storyline. So I don't know. I guess there was a storyline then? I don't know. I mean, I guess there is a storyline because Gilmore's involved. Obviously gaining the heat there for the storyline as well. We'll take it. I guess there was a storyline, so it probably got boosted up a little bit. Anyway, let's finish the show. We get an 87, so very close to getting some more popularity gain in Ontario. But as you can see, We didn't get it. And we're up to 7 regions now in America without growth due to the limited number of viewers there. Unfortunate, but I'm very happy with that 87. I think that's got to be like one of our highest ever rated shows. Got to be like top 5, I think. The match itself is probably like 7, I think. But I think that's top 5. That might be our 5th best show. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, so there we go. He's been hired. Des David's hired by CWA. Randy Bumfall, new areas. Not sure if that's Mexico or Japan. I'm assuming it wasn't Canada, because I'm pretty sure we could have signed him, so it's probably Japan. We got Goldstein, who thinks Public Enemy can't sell anything. It needs to learn how to work. And luckily that wasn't a botch on Sinner, by the looks of it, so that's good. We also got a 0.99 TV rating, 745,000 viewers. So I'm hoping that we can get up to a 1 TV rating. That'd be pretty decent. Also, just under 1.1 million viewers overall. Pretty good. Anyway, let's have a quick look here. Top 100s. So that's an 88, and that is actually our 5th best show. Now, I'm not sure if that does scale with alphabetical order. I kind of think that it does. Because if you look at all the Coalition wrestlings are above the same rating when they appear first in the alphabet. So, as you can see, C comes before F. They're both 89. And then C comes before U. And they're both 88. So, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, it's our 5th best rated show. It's pretty decent. And again, it was a decent semi-final match. Hey, we're up to 50 in Saskatchewan as well. That's decent. I like to see that. Every little point we grow in those other regions is just getting us that little bit closer to big size, which I am really looking forward to. Anyway, I'm going to advance again to the next show, and we'll get into the final of the #1 contender tournament. I'm really looking forward to, even though it is, it's only Giant Brody taking on Aussie Goldstein. Probably not going to be the best match we could put on in terms of a main event, but I think it has to kind of main event the show, being the final. So I like it, and it should be good enough. I can't really see that match getting below an 80, if I'm being honest. So anything above an 80 will be good enough. Good enough. All right, we got some more decisions here. Probably just, Doc Hammond. And, Maverick has left L-Ring. It is what it is. We're not going to be signing Maverick. One thing I do want to have a look at, actually, is something I talked about earlier in the episode, and that is to essentially look at potentially buying a performance center. Is it a performance center? No, I guess not. I guess I want to run a developmental. Interesting. How do you create a developmental company? I guess it would be here. I'm going to have to take a bit of a better look at this, but I think this is how you do it. You invest in a new company. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. So I don't want to go doing anything, but and we really wouldn't even need. I would probably just go with maybe 10 popularity, because we have our own network for Canada, so we can essentially show our own developmental company on our own broadcaster as well, which would be pretty decent. But let's have a quick look at the other companies. I know I did this recently, maybe 2 episodes ago. ACPW. They're there. We could get Quebec up to 72 pretty easily. I mean, they don't really have a lot anywhere else, though, that we need it. I mean, the Maritimes would be decent, but not exactly, I don't know, necessary, I guess, would be the best way of putting it. I mean, the one that makes the most sense would be Black Maple, but I mean, we essentially gave them 500,000, and they've actually done relatively well with that 500k. They've only lost 200,000 over the course of what, like 3 years or something. But they would essentially be the best sort of developmental company that we could get. And of course, they are essentially our direct rivals. So it'd be pretty cool. They've got their own titles. They've got their own events as well. It would be nice. It would be nice. And of course, they do have size in Ontario as well already. Anyway, everybody else, I don't think there's anyone else that's really in debt apart from maybe, yeah, GSW. We don't want to pay 3 million in debt. So, I mean, L-Ring, but again, that's Hawaii. Yeah, see, there's no one else. I mean, X-Wrestling America, maybe. But it's kind of, it's not really, I don't know, it's a hard way of putting it. It's not really the type of product that we run. Definitely a more sort of realistic MMA crossover, you know, proper wrestling contests with clear winners and losers, I would say. And we don't really do that. We don't really do that. We kind of go for a lot of tainted victories, a lot of outside involvement, and of course we sort of focus on storylines as well. But we do have decent wrestlers, so could be decent. Having guys like Mutant, Brody, Mobstar, all decent like brawlers, could put on some decent matches. And to be fair, we do have a lot of other really gifted technical wrestlers in there as well. Okay, well, not 100% sure what I'm going to do on the rest of this TV show. Like I said, Mutant taking on Logan will probably be next episode. But I mean, I maybe could do Zombie Boy versus, yeah, let's do Zombie Boy versus Logan. I think that'll be decent. At least a decent way for us to start off with what's sort of going on. It should be okay. I think I'll go Davis versus, yeah, Davis versus John Greed as well. All right, Erin Lawrence. I mean, she's a very good referee, but I don't think we need her. I mean, do I want to bring up her price? It's CZCW. I kind of want to see CZCW actually do well. There we go. Shane Stone's another really good referee, 48. I think he's actually higher than Quincy that we signed recently. Anyway, Original Sinner fully fit, which is good. El Leon extending his US Pro contract. Didn't we sign him already? I think we did, so that's strange. Anyway, okay. All right, let's get into the show. All right, so yeah, Kavanaugh's actually here, which is good for once. Anyway, let's go to Mississauga for this final TV show of the episode. Book the main event. Brody taking on Goldstein. Who will our #1 contender be? I am going to go black screen real quick, just so we don't have any spoilers and you guys can enjoy it properly. Let me just book this real quick. Try and talk you through it without actually giving anything away. It's going to be an interesting match. And I do like the winner in this one, actually. I feel like it's going to be a good challenge for Mobstar. Anyway, there we go. it is booked. We are ready to go. The end of the tournament, and we'll find out who our #1 contender will indeed be. Let's go a warm-up match for the Moneymakers. This will be our... I don't know why I just put on the pre-show, but this will be our storytelling match as well, with Jackpot picking up the victory. And I think we can call this one as well, can't we? I think we've kind of worked that out over the last however many episodes that he's finally got enough psychology, Blue Dragon, to actually call a match in the ring, which is very nice. Okay, what else did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to do Zombie Boy taking on Logan, which I think judging on Zombie Boy's recent matches, this should be a pretty good match. So let's give it RM Stones and Ed Monson, our 2 best referees and road agents. And it's pretty straightforward, this one as well. And again, we of course have to call it in the ring. And we're going to do a distraction onto Logan this time from Mutant. However, it's not going to work, and Zombie Boy's going to lose anyway. So, pretty interesting. Why did that match go lower? Oh, I did it on the pre-show. Sometimes I do weird stuff. Anyway, there we go. Okay. What else am I doing? We're doing Davis and John Greed. Davis, John Greed. Where is John Greed? John Greed's there. Let's give this one 12 again. This one we're going to have a bit of interference, but it's going to go back and forth. It's going to go both ways. It's not going to be an interference finish per se, but it's going to be involved. Let's have an interference onto Davis by Princeton. And then let's have an interference on John Greed by Zeus. And I guess we could maybe even do this match as sort of a backup match for the pay-per-view. The 2 old boys going at it, being Greed and Maximilian. There we go, there's another one down. I think to finish it off, we might go with a 6-man tag. Let's have Gilmore team up with the LA Stars to take on... Actually, LA Stars, or do I go Young and Wasted? I'll go Young and Wasted instead, actually. And they can take on the team of Charlie Corner and the Rock City Stars. I've noticed that Charlie's now lost his momentum that he had, which is unfortunate. Might also make this 10. Just in case. But yeah, Gilmore's going to pick up another win for himself. I don't think Charlie can call yet. He's getting up there. He's getting close. Probably need to put him in a few more matches alongside Maddie Faith. And he might gain some psychology that way. But there we go. I think that's going to do us, because I want to have some angles. I obviously want to have an angle post main event. Actually, let me do this one, because I'm going to put the winner in here as well. So let me just get rid of that text, and we'll get this in there properly. That's going to be off screen. I'm going to have to, while I'm in this screen here, the black screen, I am also going to change the storyline as well. And we'll get that sorted out. So that should be good there. That'll be post-main event. Let me just quickly fix up this storyline here. I'm just going to add in the worker that does indeed win. All right, there we go. I think we're good once again. All right, so let's do the rest of the angles. I want to have, I think just an Aldous angle onto Logan pre-match would be decent. And again, that'll continue their storyline as well, so it's not too bad. And it should rate pretty highly because it is obviously Aldous as well. That gets Aldous onto the show once again. You know, Mutant's on the show as well. I think I want to have an angle from the Moneymakers. Let's go Jackpot and Stevie P. Stevie Parker. We'll give them some success as well. And of course, that'll go on prior to their match with Red, White, and Blue. One behind. I'm not going to go any angles for, obviously, the main event. There's kind of no point, if you will. But what I will do is have an angle prior to the main event with Angry Gilmore. And he's going to essentially challenge Maddie Faith to a rematch at the next pay-per-view as well. Faith will be off screen, but Gilmore is going to come out and cut an angle and issue a challenge to try and win some respect back from the cocky youngster. So that'll be pre-main event. We need something for Davis. You know what? Let's go Princeton. I'm going to give Princeton the angle this time. Davis can be... I'm going to keep him off screen. This is going to kind of tank the storyline heat a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay. I mean, essentially, I could just actually not have Davis in the angle at all. Might be better. That literally might be better. So let's just go with Princeton instead. And that'll go there. We can actually go one more angle. So, I mean, do I go with Charlie Corner? Or do I go with Angry Gilmore? I'm going to go with Angry Gilmore for a second angle. Actually, no. Let's go a Faith No More angle. So let's go Maddie Faith. We'll go Charlie Corner. Rock and Ryan Turner. And finally, Stan Manor. There we go. I think we just need... I don't think those guys are even in a storyline, are they? Yeah. So we'll literally just go Maddie Faith being rated. There's not really much point in having anyone else because we have the potential to get like a 90 plus with Maddie Faith right now. So I don't really want to be bringing that down. Although it would probably help Charlie Corner's entertainment skills. So maybe I should do it. You know what? I'm gonna have him rated on entertainment as well. Do I script them? I'll script it. I'll see. Let's see how it does. We know what Maddie Faith is capable now by himself. Anyway, go a 6-man. I want to just have Graham Gorman be essentially be like our, I guess, trainer on the pre-show, because not a lot left for him to do. He's kind of an upper mid-carder that I'm not really going to book too much because not a lot of character to him, and there's not a lot of, things we can do because he can't really speak on the microphone. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyway, we're going to use the frat pack here. So Cooper Christie, Jack Jackson, and our boy Zach Powerson. And they are indeed going to get an interesting victory with Graham Gorman in the match. So Graham, while he's not going to take the pinfall, he is going to be involved in a losing effort, if you will. And again, of course, it does need to be scripted, but hopefully, again, just more psychology for our boy Zach Powerson. All right, I think that's pretty good. I don't really want to put anything else on the show. Maybe we can go Mobstar. Let's give Mobstar another victory. Let's do champion versus champion on the pre-show. Why not? That's pretty cool. So let's give it 16 as well. Why not? We can't. I don't really want to do it on the main show, on the TV show, just because it would, I guess, kind of overshadow the storylines that we got going. But it is the pre-show, so there we go. We can do whatever we want. All right, that looks good now. Let's run the show. All right, so we started with a 63 rated pre-show 6-man tag where we have the Frat Pack defeating Graham Gorman and the Northern Lights in 11:40 when Jack Jackson pinned Alton Vicious with an implant DDT. And of course, Graham head and shoulders above everybody else. Cooper Christie was off his game. And I'm just hoping that this match is going to get that little bit of psychology that Zach really needs. I'm wondering if we can actually change their gimmicks now, because obviously we put that user point into creativity. So if it's not too soon, we could probably do that, and it would be pretty successful, I would assume, with that, you know, extra point. Whoa! Okay. I mean, do we do a repeat of this on the next show? Champion versus champion. An 89. Yes, you see that correctly. 89 rated pre-show. Singles match. Wow. Mobstar is an absolute beast. He's by far our best world champion we've had so far. I know that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. You know, the GOAT, 3-time world champion, but man, this guy. I mean, him and Gilmore. I mean, Gilmore was kind of the guy that really set us alight. Boosting up, you know, every show we were gaining popularity from his angles and his decent matches as well. Anyway, we got Mobstar defeating the current Canadian champion Gary Walker in 15:57 by pinfall with a flattener DDT. I think maybe I don't know, I kind of want to give them the main event, but I did want to give that to Logan and Mutant on that next show. But I mean, we could essentially just go for another rematch here, give it 20 minutes in the main event, and essentially see what happens. Got a 92 in-ring there from Mobstar as well. Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with this match. No storyline. So I don't know what's happened with the storylines. I'm assuming that they might have fixed that. Hopefully they did. Anyway, we then kick off the show with a 78 rated angle. So it's a bit lower, but it's Charlie Corner rated on entertainment skills. He only has 54 microphone abilities. So Maddie Faith obviously carrying this one, came across well, and Charlie performed poorly, but it is scripted, which it kind of needed to be at this point. Otherwise, he would have possibly tanked it even further. We then go into a 6-man tag, getting a 74 rating. We have Angry Gilmore and Young and Wasted defeating Faith No More, of course, Charlie Corner, and the Rock City Stars. 9:35 when Angry Gilmore pinned Rock and Ryan with an anger management. And of course, Charlie was the weak link. And we had both Charlie and Ryan Turner really off their games, which is unfortunate, sucks. But again, it's kind of storylines all involved. Obviously, Gilmore and Maddie Faith, Faith No More. And then we've had the tried and tested storyline of Young and Wasted and the Rock City Stars. We then go into a 71. That's actually, I think that's improved quite a little bit from his recent angles we gave him last month, which were about 66s, I think. So he's into the 70s, enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. And hopefully that'll gain him maybe 1 point of popularity. That'd be pretty decent. Anyway, we then go into an 86 rated match. What is happening? We had an 89 on the pre-show. We've got an 86 here for a 12-minute match, which I was maybe expecting an 80 at most. Anyway, we've got Davis Wayne Newton, the GOAT. That is why he is the GOAT, pulling a 94 in-ring out of John Greed. And he does defeat John Greed in 12:15 by submission with an STF. And then during the match, we also had Princeton Price run in and attack Newton. And Zeus Maximilian also attack John Greed. So lots of outside interference, but a clean victory in the end there for Davis. Obviously, it's clean because, you know, the two interferences essentially cancel each other out. 86 though. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Anyway, we move into a 93 rated angle. And that was with Aldous struggling off script as well. That probably would have been a 100 had he at least scored neutral. Definitely a 100 if he did well without the script. But yeah, he's cutting his angle onto Logan Wolfsbane. Of course, Logan's taken on Zombie Boy up next. And, Aldous says that, things are not looking good. The future is not bright for Logan Wolfsbane. In fact, it's looking very, very dark, very bleak. And Aldous essentially says the pay-per-view, it's going to be the day of reckoning for Logan Wolfsbane. And he wouldn't be surprised if somebody ends up with a broken neck. Okay, what is happening? It's got to be. I'm 100% sure they've fixed the whole storyline double penalties. And I'm guessing they potentially fixed matches on TV without a storyline as well. Potentially, I don't know. But this seems ridiculous. 86 rated match. And we have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Zombie Boy in 11:38 by pinfall with a belly-to-belly suplex. During the match, we also had Mutant come out and distract Wolfsbane at ringside, but didn't get involved, and it didn't really do anything to actually distract or to gain the attention for more than a few seconds of Logan. But yeah, another 86. Hopefully the main event does better than that, and I don't think it's going to. Like I said, I'm expecting maybe an 84 for that match. We've got a 91 in ring there from Logan, and a solid enough 62 from Zombie Boy. Of course, he himself has been very impressive, so yeah. Anyway, moving on. Go into a 78 rated angle for the Moneymakers, and of course, Jackpot Jordan doing a masterful job improvising interactions, and of course, they're just saying that they're living the lush lifestyle, the high life, if you will, being high rollers as the current tag team champions. The money is rolling in, and they essentially put over the fact that they have more money than they know what to do with it at the moment. Anyway, moving on to their match, and it gets a 70, which is actually pretty good for a sort of lower mid-card opponent. We get a 70 rated match. I already said that. We have the Moneymakers defeating Red, White, and Blue in 12:25 when Jackpot Jordan pinned Blue Dragon with a Make It Rain. Like I said, it's a pretty good match. We've got a 74 in-ring there for Jackpot Jordan and a 62 for the much older CVP. But it's okay. It's just a warm-up match, and we'll probably do a bit more storyline focus. Maybe, I think I might have Jackpot take on Papa Swole. I think that could be a pretty good match for next episode on that Go Home show. Alright, we then go into a 99 rated Angry Gilmore angle. Hopefully this is going to boost up his popularity a little bit more, along with the victory in that opening contest. But he basically says, I challenge Maddie Faith to a rematch at the pay-per-view. I want you to come out next week, man to man, and accept my challenge. Don't be a coward. And he wants him, he wants him to look him in the eye, and he says that he will shake his hand, but the better man is Angry Gilmore, and Angry will win at the pay-per-view. Anyway, as you can see, he clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. Did pretty well. Of course, only 1 point away from his usual Gilmore 100, which we love to see. He's also got the hot catchphrase as well, which I think he's had for a long time. Anyway, this is the pre-main event angle, and our main event, the final of the number 1 contender tournament. And it bombs. Boy, does it bomb. Wow. Get a 75 rated match. Very interesting. We have Aussie Goldstein defeating Giant Brody. So Goldstein wins the tournament, becomes the number 1 contender in 1937 by pinfall with a golden shower. Yeah, this match, not great. And it's interesting because, as you can see, Giant Brody and Aussie Goldstein have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. So I don't really understand that, if I'm being honest. That's kind of a weird one. We also had an 80 in-ring for Goldstein and a 71 for Brody. I mean, I guess the 75 is fair for those in-rings, but with the great chemistry, that should have been higher, man. That should have been a lot higher. That's a weird one. There's got to be a lot of penalties. Okay. Due to lack of an associated storyline, apparently, even though we haven't been getting this penalty for any of the other matches on the show. Maybe it's because it went for 20 minutes, potentially. I don't know. Brody for inconsistency, and we have the low morale. So there are a couple of penalties, but at the same time, come on, man. Like, the fact that we Haven't had storyline penalties. Get it for the main event. Tanks, we had an 89 rated pre-show match. Frustrating. Anyway, it's an end to the tournament. Goldstein's #1 contender. He will take on Mobstar at the next pay-per-view. And we finished it off with that subsequent angle, getting a 90 rating, where we have Mobstar essentially confronting his new #1 contender, and basically, does the gun sign to Goldstein's head in the ring, and essentially says that he's never going to win the title. Goldstein, he might have won the tournament, but look at the level of opponent. Mobstar said that he didn't even expect Goldstein to get past Maddie Faith, who looked like the favorite of the tournament. And the only reason that he actually won that match is because Angry Gilmore got involved, costing the match for Maddie Faith. So essentially, Mobstar is saying that, Goldstein, he might not have even won the tournament or got it past the semi-final had it not been for that interference and the tainted victory there as well. Anyway, he did struggle going off script, but still managed to get a 90 rated angle there. So really good stuff yet again from our unified world champion. All right, we finished the show. It's still a really good show. 286 rated matches. We've got 390 plus rated angles in there as well. Just that main event, the final really just kind of tanked and let us down. I kind of felt like Davis versus John Greed. I kind of knew that was going to be pretty good. So I kind of wanted to make that the main event, but I couldn't not put the final of the tournament as the main event here. Anyway, we increased our popularity in 48 regions, so I think we actually did increase popularity in Ontario for that last show, the 87, was it? 88? 87. I think we did, because we got 49 on that last show. This one's only 48, and it was still 7 regions in the US that haven't gained due to a lack of viewership. Anyway, like I said, we'll try and work that out, but we've got a lot of different things that we really need to be saving our money for at the moment. Obviously, developmental, something I'm looking at. We also got Ciale Valhalla. I think, didn't we look at this guy like last year or something? No, I guess not. But TCW have put in an offer for him. Didn't he? Oh, he came from US Pro, that's right. So, okay, TCW going in for him. Fair enough, it is what it is. Jason Thunder. Very talented Canadian wrestler working for CWA. He is a tag team specialist, I would assume. Alongside Lightning Lomas. I mean, he would be decent to get in, man. And they're not even offering him a new contract. Have a look at his stamina. Oh, okay. He's in time decline, that's why. I mean, that's unfortunate, because if he wasn't in time decline, I probably would have signed him, but then again, I would assume that CWA would probably go back in for him as well. Okay, we might take a miss on him. You know what? Let me have a look at Lightning Lomas as well. Because if I can bring them in as a tag team, how long does he have? Oh, he's still got a year and a month. Yeah, I can't do it. I just don't think we can do it there. We're also up to 66 popularity in Quebec and 64 in Manitoba now as well. Also, I think we pretty much gained a point everywhere this episode, which is, it's decent. It's okay. Also want to check a little bit of popularity. Maddie Face still 76. Good to see Goldstein actually going up to 79 as a result of that win, because I think he was at 78. Anyone else I really need to check? Brody's still at 62, so he didn't gain anything. Charlie's at 46. Gilmore's still at, he's kind of stuck at 75 now. Is unfortunate. We're trying to get that back up. But I think that's about it, really. There's nothing else to really look at. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, well, that's pretty much going to wrap up the episode, guys. It's been a really good one. Had some really good matches. And, yeah, looking forward to next episode. Looking forward to the pay-per-view as well. If you could, please smash the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. With the notifications turned on, we finally hit 10%, guys. Just want to say thank you. But we're still at the lowest point of what YouTube, the YouTube average for subscribers with notifications turned on. So if we can keep improving that, that'd be awesome. And again, it only benefits you guys, being up to date with these episodes, being notified when they come out. Because sometimes I'll have to take 2 days because a lot of in real life stuff is getting in the way of progressing. But yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. As always, take it easy. Goodbye. And I'll see you for the pay-per-view next episode.